Hey Simon, this is a response to your video with you inside your truck. Yeah, about people, about looking at people in the eye. I do that a lot now, and I've been doing it for a while. When I stood up, like when I realized like people are kind of programmed and that that you could do more, that you can actually do more things. And when I realized that, I started looking people in the eye. But before that, I usually I don't even I had fears of looking people in the eye. But after that, the self-realization that like you can do everything, that you don't have to be limited. And I started looking people in the eye, and yeah, most of them, they don't want to look. They had I have like reaction to that, because I always think, why don't they want to look at me? Why don't they look at me? you know like I have a That's not one of the things I'm working on, is like the reactions from people. When I look at them, they're either they don't they have the fear of looking at me, and I start to self-judge myself, like, is it me? Why are they like that? So that's what goes on in my mind, and I've been doing self-forgiveness with that point, where like not caring about how people react to me. Like sometimes people will stare at me, and that's when like I have a reaction, because that's when the spotlight fear comes up, and it's like, oh, like, he's staring at me. It's like, I need to run. I need to run away. And another thing I notice with the fear is, it's like, I think it's from gangs. Like here in my area, I didn't know there were a lot of gang stuff here. And when I moved here, I had this bike, and you know how gangs, there's the color, red, blue. And yeah, one time when I moved here, I let my dogs out, and I had red shorts, and this lady was out with her dogs too, and my dog started going to her dogs, but her reaction to me was like I was like a monster or something. like she freaked out, like, oh my god, this guy, he's coming. And then she started screaming for her husband, like, like, I'm like looking at her, just walking towards her. I never had that reaction with somebody before. Like, here's my dogs. Usually people are like, oh, dogs. And then this lady, she started freaking out, and I'm like, why is she freaking out? And then I passed by their gate. They had like metal gate, and they look at me like, and I just smiled at them. I think I just went. And then I was wondering, why are they reacting like that? And then later on, I started to go out, with my bike that was given to me, and the color was blue. And I started going out, and I started seeing all these people wearing collars, like gang collars. And I started to realize that I guess they think I'm in a gang or something, because I was wearing red shorts with the number. Like, but I'm not in a gang. I just wore I was just wearing that. But yeah, when I started going out with my bike, I noticed people too. Like they would look at me like what? Who's that? You know, like oh, I didn't know. Like why are people look at me like this? and and I realized later that it's actually like because of my blue bike, and this place is like red. You know, it's like the red turf, and I was riding with a blue bike. You know, like I'm riding with this blue, and then I would pass people with like red shirt, and they would look at me. They would pass by like this. They wouldn't stare at me. They wouldn't look at me because they're scared or something. And then some of the people who would go out there, like I noticed there were like two guys who would hang out in the morning at their house. You know, they see me every day biking. They would notice me, you know, and then after a while they stopped coming out. I don't know if that was like I scared them or something. You know, it's the same thing with like there were like these two guys who were in a truck. They were outside, and then they would just look at me, and then I would pass them by, and then they would just have this paranoid type look. It's like why are they looking? And you know, so what I did, I covered up the blue color of my bike and just covered it with like a, you know, the one that they use for cars, reflection for nighttime. So I got like a bright green because that also helps me, you know, if I go on the street I want people to see me, you know. So I got this bright neon green reflective thing. I put it all around. So after that, people, it's kind of like the different look. It's more like, whoa, look at that bike, it's so bright and green. That's kind of like how they look now. It's not like a fear type paranoid look like, who's that gangster? Like a gangster in his bike. No, I'm not a gangster. But so now it's like, so the first day I put all that stuff on my bike, you know, everyone started it's like everyone like started looking at me, and like they can actually like putting more attention to me because it's so bright. And then yeah, so that's my experience with the staring, with the looking stuff. When I go to the mall, I don't I don't really have like judgments of people. I just walk. It's more like what will people think of me. It's the only thing. I don't have the I'm better than you type. It's more like let's have fun. You know, like if I had the chance I would, you know, like ride my bike all around the mall or something. You know, like do something fun in the mall. But yeah, like people inside the mall is like so, like no emotions, no reactions, just walking. Whenever I go out, that's kind of like more like how I experience myself. Or like let's have fun, but I can't because it's like there's like lots of rules. It's not allowed to do crazy stuff inside the mall.